and he just did like a quick 180. She's like, oh my god, what? One camera? Just like, okay, fine, I'll show up. Hello. Alright guys, hello. We are going to go into this finals of Solar versus QS. Let's get this one started. What's up, Pascal? How you doing? Hello. Thank you so much for the 9-month resub on the Prime as we work our way just through again, just replays again today, guys. We're going to do this series. We'll see what we're at after this one. Obviously, a best of 5 TVZ could be long, could be short. If it is long, I feel like we'll probably get one more series done after this, generally. If it's super long, maybe not. I'm going to be here about another hour and 40 minutes casting, basically, guys. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening. Now let's jump into what was the finals of this ESL Open Cup. Let's try a pig camera. Bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player is Solar. Top right, Q. And already SCVs coming across the other side. I'm going to start making their way across and getting themselves involved, ready, and set to go here. As we get this one all underway. It's just going to be seeing our proxy racks go, and Kira has not been afraid of proxy racks lately. This is the finals of an ESL Open Cup, which means that this is a best of 5 guys as well. It's just a little cheeky reminder to that for you all. And, yeah. Here we go. Game number 1. Proxies in full swing. Obviously, Solar is going to spot this with an Overlord, so that's obviously going to be a good start for him, being able to see that this is proxied up already, so able to get that information pretty much immediately is a very good start, in fact, so that is very good news. Gonna be seeing the couple drones pulled to try and fight against this, although that doesn't really go super well. I mean, you're still slowing down the SCVs from being able to build bunkers, and you're slowing down the Marines from being able to get forward, so it's still pretty reasonable. It's still pretty decent. It's not a bad thing per se, right? But obviously it's could have been better, I suppose. It could have been better. If you just get there and see it sooner, right? But sometimes you can only see it so soon, you know? So, like I say, it's not really something worth complaining about or anything. As we get this all underway. It's going to be seeing a couple of Marines nibbling away there to start things off. It's going to be seeing our feelings. Trying to fight against that bunker as well. Drones pull in to go against this as well. A good defense, really, from Solar, right? And obviously, we'll not be able to take his third base for a little while, but I feel like that's something we can perhaps work on over a little bit of time. Keep this going, see what we end up doing. So, a few moments of getting build up and everything. I'm just going to be having our few Marines will obviously be able to keep a little bit of pressure up at the very least here, so we'll be doing that for a while. Make our way around, just going to see the Marines poking in again. And again, by poking these Marines in, you're able to keep a good idea of where we're at in the game, right? A good idea of what is currently going on, etc. So, good to be able to do this. Like I said, it's going to be exactly the kind of direction we take things in just for the moment here. So, keeping this going and just keeping these Marines active. And this might actually do enough, right? If you can keep Solar off of a third base long enough. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the best, but I can see it maybe being enough, right? Possibly. I don't think it's that crazy an assumption. Let's see, a couple of Hellions now joining up with this, so we actually really do get a pretty decent chance of keeping this going and able to keep things on the way. Let's get ourselves our feelings continue to come through, and for the most part, these Marines just kind of get a few steps away, able to stay out of trouble for the most part here. So again, so far so good. Not really too problematic just yet. And I think in the end, yeah, Kyo does have to just leave. Starts up a couple of Banshees here playing on Ancient Cistern. And kind of excited. I really want to see a late game on this map. I really feel like this map could actually be very good for a late game TVZ. And I feel like it definitely can encourage a late game TVZ as well, just through the nature of, you know, the fact that this map is pretty large. Like I've been saying earlier, this map really does have pretty sizable tendencies. So I really do feel like this could be an interesting factor as we have our Banshee again just ticking along here. And otherwise, just going to be seeing the, Cloak starting up as well. So, again, a lot of expectations for all the things we kind of expect to see in the first place. Kind of just being matched up with everything else for the moment. TC comes down at the front, and obviously with that coming in, again, Banshee, Cloak, etc. all begins to build on in. Now we do have Solo just going in towards his Baneling Nest. He does finally have his third hatch up as well, by the way. I mentioned that that was going to be taking a little while to get going, and it really did take a little while to get going too, so that was something of a factor. Banshee going, some damage being dealt. Gonna be seeing the couple of drones going down. Roach drone gonna be the choice all of a sudden here out of Solo, which I find interesting, right? I mean, doesn't really need to go roaches per se. I wonder if there's something about the map that makes him kind of like the roaches as an option here, but yeah, definitely doesn't feel like obviously the immediate necessity or anything, right? So very cool. Let's just have a couple of Banshees turn back around, Hellions all joining together. And Evo Chamber drones, etc. All coming up right now. Now, as the roaches get going, I guess the big question sort of becomes just how aggressive are we going to be? You know, how committed are we going to make this in the end? And Hellions joined together, just going to be seeing our medevacs coming through. 1-1 upgrades coming up, and all that getting going for the moment. Queen's coming through, just going to go in. Ravager getting chased away for a little bit. Queen's taking a chance to turn around, trying to come back into it. Just going to be seeing the Banshees put into work. Getting some work done on this hatchery, so some damage being done there. And the counterattack, I mean, Solo was really good at counterattacking in the games that were played on the same day as this against Hero Marine, right? So, no surprise to see him once again counterattacking and doing very well for himself so far. Continue to do that for the moment. Prince comes stepping in, just going to go after the Spore Crawler here, so coming through for it. And yeah, defense is still pretty good from Solo. Not really going to let Kyo slip through for anything just yet, so looking pretty reasonable. Pretty fine. Early on. Gonna see our medevacs loading up as well, so they're gonna come back across, moving a little bit of a different direction for a few moments. Just gonna be seeing our Marines begin to unload. back from these medevacs as well. It's just taking them out. It's going to be seeing the Marines back into the medevacs. A few more moments. It's a little bit more done. For now. We do have the Italians would love to just obviously keep this group spread back as much as possible, and so far, to be fair, they're doing a very good job of that. They're doing exactly what you would want from them, basically. It's just able to come through, deal some good damage, get the creep pushed back as much as possible. If you can keep it past the halfway marker on a bigger map like this, then I think you're generally going to feel like you're in a pretty good place, right? So I have to imagine that's something of a factor to keep in mind here. Going to be seeing a couple of Marines making their way across, and just going to be seeing again the medevacs, obviously again aiming to keep that group spread back as the Hellions have been doing earlier. So continuing to really focus on this, that really is again going to be a core idea of what we do to be able to ensure success, basically. So not really too surprising. Kind of the expectations for the moment, I suppose. This Hive's on the way, so we are going to see Solar able to hit a much later stage of this game, of course, and that's always nice. See that Hive tech coming online. See if he really can get here without too many issues or anything, of course, in the next few moments. I don't imagine he's going to have too many problems. He's going to be kind of okay. Shouldn't be too problematic. I mean, Viper's already on the way up, and now Nuldra Cavern as well. Are we a little worried about where Secure is at? You know, kind of position-wise right now. Maybe, possibly, a little bit. Maybe a little, right? I mean, it feels like Q is very set to kind of play like a mid-game kind of tank push. Never stop, play this bio attack sort of thing, right? But that's not really what we're set up for in every other way right now, so... a good question, quite frankly. As we do move along, move around, just going to be seeing our Ultra's Cavern continue to tick. I mean, basically, Q needs to start looking towards the Ghost Academy sooner rather than later. These consistent tank pushes and stuff can be kind of okay, they can do well, but usually teching up is just going to be the much better option, the much better choice here. Oh, excuse me, guys, sorry, bless me for a moment, I caught the sneezes for a couple of moments, so I do apologize. Just going to be seeing our little drop over here going to get dealt with pretty easily, actually. I mean, that doesn't really do very much at all, so that's not ideal to say the least. Going to be seeing this push forward is actually really scary, though. Q doesn't get rid of a base. But all this tech of Solar so far has not really helped him out then, huh? So that's definitely more of a problem than we might have originally expected, I suppose, as we just see this army of Q on the retreat right now. So pulling back from there and get pulled away for just a few moments and just do things a little differently to original expectations. And the tank's still setting up, looking to keep on pushing this left-hand side, so continue to get this position set, steady, and hopefully able to really come into play a little bit as well. So, watching for that. It's going to be seeing our counterattack not really going far enough just yet, huh? So, still kind of... seeing that not really do as much as you might like. It's going to be seeing a big couple of blinding clouds coming through, though, and that's definitely going to hurt, so that's going to go a long way. And it's going to be seeing this Bioforce, well, kind of getting wiped by the Ultras. I mean, we mentioned the tech of Solar, and, you know, initially it wasn't really enough. Initially it wasn't really there, but now we are there. Hell yes, we are making it happen, aren't we? it just took a little while, right? Like, at first he had the Vipers, but he was still kind of waiting on the Ultras and stuff, and I think that was obviously a big part of it. And definitely something we're trying to work our way through. Now that we've been able to kind of get through that, going to be feeling a lot better. We do have, I mean, solar supply definitely not great, right? Definitely a little bit down from where you might want to be and everything, but I would say generally still okay. I mean, I still worry a little bit for Kira, just doesn't have enough tech. His first ghosts are only just coming up now. If Kira had more tech already in play, then yeah, sure, I'd feel a lot, you know, better for Kira. I feel absolutely fine for him, but that's just not the case here, right? That's just not true at all. So without that being the case, I'm not thoroughly convinced by the current position of things. Now, he is still just trying to chase up ramps as well, and he's kind of low HP on some of this, so I think that's going to help a lot as well. I think that's going to continue to kind of push you in the right direction here. So I think that too is going to be a bit of a factor. Marine just trying to push back into Overlord, so just get a little bit of clear out done as best as possible. And as best as we can, so just doing whatever work we can. I mean, a few more ghosts coming up. Like, I mean, Solo's getting a chance to rebuild. Only 72 drones, so his economy is obviously not perfect. Don't get me wrong, his economy is far from what he really wants it to be. This Ultra doesn't last very long at all either, so that goes down very quickly. Going to be having now a few lings coming back around. I'm just going to be seeing a few bio units, the ghosts making their way around here as well. So again, just some bits and pieces going on. A little bit of action. I'm just going to be seeing our Ion still pressuring. I mean, one of the things about this map is there's definitely positions that you can kind of take that are pretty strong and hard to break, but these positions I feel like are very, well, how do I want to say this? The positions are choky but accessible for a Zerg, right? Like, the surrounds are definitely available to you as a Zerg player, but they're definitely not fun to attack in from one direction because they're choked up, so it's kind of a cool balance in that regard. Yeah, it actually is a really cool balance. I quite like it. I guess we'll see if that's something that kind of sticks on this map, or if I maybe feel a bit differently further down the line. Anyways, for now, like I said, I actually do kind of feel like this map has potential. It is big, don't get me wrong. It's definitely large, it's definitely sizable. That's definitely a factor, but yeah, I feel like there's ways for Zergs to fight at least, as we do see, and Terrans to fight too, so both sides maybe have chances. We do see this fight coming in again. This is what I mean. If Solar's attacking in from one direction, and again, don't get me wrong, this is obviously kind of the obvious statement. If Solar attacks in from one direction, guess what? It's not good for him. It never is for a Zerg, right? But that's not all I'm saying, right? It's more than that. It's also the fact that, you know, it's choked up. If he could just find that surround, and it feels like that surround should be possible to find as well, you know? I think that's what it kind of comes down to here. Going to be seeing 18 SCVs going down, so Kira is taking quite a lot of damage over on the other side of things, so kind of maybe time for him to definitely get involved and help out as much as he can. We do see, I mean, a good fight here for Sol. He's going to get a good bit of cleanup going on without many issues at all, and all these ghosts are going to go down too. We're just talking about how important these ghosts have been to keep alive and everything. Now we're going to lose them, so that's only going to be problematic. Definitely costly. It's definitely not an easy situation right now, to put it simply. I do feel like here, I mean, don't get me wrong, Solar's supply is still hurting. Like, it's costing Solar a lot to be able to take these fights and to take these trades and to keep himself in, you know, competitive positions here. I feel like he is doing enough. I think his Ultra's going to come straight on through right now. Be having our Bioforce with the tank supporting, making their way around. be seeing the tanks again. Obviously, again, just an example of how the Terran can take good positions here, right? It will just set up over on the side and just pick your way through. These ledges are going to be annoying. So yeah, just like I say, very fun examples both ways around of just how this map can be very good for both sides. Definitely draws us naturally into that kind of longer, kind of more back and forth game. Alright, cool stuff. Catching up a couple shouts quickly. Well, maybe not, because this fight is going to break out. Ultra's running through, the blind cloud's going down. Parasite bombing the sky as well, doing a good job of keeping everything kind of out of reach here. Ultras continue to chase, and these Marines have to just back away. How far can we chase this Solar? I mean, there's only one Ghost here, so these Ultras are hard to clean up, and that is turning into the problem. So that is the issue, more so than anything else. Now some Ghosts show up, and how immediately you see the difference that is made. It's kind of astounding, the difference that comes out in that situation, right? Alright, a couple shouts. Mark PT, dude, how are you doing? It feels like it's been an eternity since I've seen you. I hope you're doing well. Maybe that's just me being bad with remembering my subs shoutouts, but I appreciate you dropping by, and I hope you're doing well. And thank you, Chess SCT, for the 37-month resub as well, guys. Thanks for the replay cast recently. No worries, like I say, just trying to do something to keep us all entertained and keep us all full of StarCraft and just something to cast, because otherwise it's very possible there's not a lot going on at the moment with things. So, alright, guys, so back to the action, and well, things settled down for a few moments. Again, we've had a lot of moments in this game where supply has swung one way, swung the other. The last couple of fights definitely pretty hectic and bad in general, I would say, for Cure. I feel like he's really not been in the driver's seat of these engagements. He's really been the one that doesn't really quite have the tech that he needs. As these Marines just come stemming forward, a few of these creep teamers going down. Drones are being picked away at. And the rest of these links coming down the bottom. Going to aim for those other few Marines as well, just helping to push those back and keep them out of the way. A few more Ghosts coming up. They are going to be absolutely essential, of course, so we continue to build into them. The more Ghosts we have generally here, the better a time we're going to end up having, so not really any surprises about that just yet. And it's just going to be seeing a Liberator firing through a couple of times over. We've seen 10 drones down, the few medevacs loading up, away they go. Just going to try and drop elsewhere, trying to keep Solar as busy as possible generally. Goes down, medevac lifts up a handful of Marines, just going to be seeing the Spire still coming through. The Lair's coming in, the extra Lings are coming through. The Vipers will continue to move around as well. If they can get some good blinding clouds, it could be the difference, as we're just going to be seeing on command centers trying to get into place. CC up in the sky that's burning, but I mean, attacking up these chokes is always going to be tough, and Solar is feeling that pressure right now as he has to back away pretty much immediately. Opal is going to blast and die. We've seen our Corruptors on the way up as well, so Soul again. Obviously the potential to just kind of shut down Liberators, right? That sort of stuff, very important, I think. So yeah, just kind of working through that straight away here, as you do have this CC is going to come move on forward. Do you have a couple extra missile turrets on the way, and just going to be seeing this Liberator is going to get set up a little bit as well, so it's going to have a good little time. We have an Eye again shut down. That's why these Corruptors are very nice, so they're already kind of showing their value here. We've seen again a couple of Libs making their way through. Tanks on the way up. Just across the board looking pretty reasonable, I'd say. I mean, don't get me wrong, Solar's obviously the one that's maxing out now. He's definitely getting into a little bit of the better spot overall. I think Kira's And Kyo's hanging in there with army supply. I mean, Sola's work account isn't amazing, but he still has bases to mine from, and I think that's a big difference between the two players right now as well. One of these guys has, you know, actually the ability to kind of mine still, and the other one is getting more limited in what they can mine. You know, the bases that they have up, Kyo, is really not in too crazy a spot. Oh, SCVs are going down as this fight breaks out on the other side. It's just going to be seen again. Solo coming through in attempt of a new base. I don't think so, he says. Just going to knock that down pretty much immediately. Just going to get rid of that with nigh on immediate effect, pretty much. So, no, that really didn't go very well at all. Unfortunately, just going to be seeing these lings, these ultras surrounding the rocks. Knocking through here pretty much straight away. Lings and Ultra's going to come through and going to go for a little bit of a push right now. So on we go. 5 SCVs going down. Damage is being dealt. It's going to be seen. I mean, Solo's going to be forced back here. Actually takes a good fight here. And again, this is the problem with trying to end games like this. You got to be very sure about it, right? You got to be very sure about what you want to do and what you're trying to achieve here. So definitely interesting. We're seeing a couple of tanks obviously will try and hold this position. The big part about this is now, you actually probably can't break this as Solar. So now Q actually gets this base up because that previous attack didn't go well enough for him. A little bit tough. Are we having now a CC going to move across, just going to move back in toward this upper left side, so just trying to establish another base while Solar is maybe kept back and slowed down a little bit here. We're just going to come in, just going to see our Thor firing away, and just going to be seeing our few snipes coming down. StarCraft is getting blasted, the Baneling's coming through, Ghosts have to back it up. Very nice few snipes there. You can see how that's coming through. A lot of Lings going down. Just going to be seeing these Banes continuing through as well. We've seen that bio coming through. A couple of these Banes getting whacked. Just going to continue to come in right now. Just going to be seeing how Thor's continue to fire, and just going to be having this Ravager picked off. So it's going to get picked off here. Just going to see our bio units coming through. Hatchery will go down. Drones, Lings, all of this being picked away at. I mean, this is a good push from Kira, and Solo just does not seem to be able to get back on his feet after that earlier fight. That has been massively detrimental to him, to be fair, right? I mean, he has just not recovered at all from that earlier engagement. "14 drones dead, and Solar just not able to, like I say, stand back on 2 feet. Now, is this game still within reach for him? I almost feel like no, not anymore, because what he was doing earlier was really good. He was consistently resetting the ghost count. He never let Kira get too much of that tech up, and that meant that his army composition worked. Now, that's not true anymore. Right? That's not really true at all anymore. As Ling's Veins coming through, Solar just types out GG. He doesn't have a way to stay in this, guys. And that is going to be Kira winning out this game. Just like that. GG's Kira takes game 1 of this best. Really felt like he had pretty good control in that last one. In the top left side, our blue Zerg player is Solar. Just kind of letting it slip towards the end, unfortunately, and not able to kind of keep on track with it all. And the bottom right side, our red Terran player from DPG, this is Cure. Alright then, so away we go. Getting this started off, getting this ready to roll. We're going to be seeing our hatchery down on location. Neo-Humanity, the map that confuddles my brain. It's all mixed up. This map really does... I honestly, I don't know what it is. I just can't handle the way that this map is laid out, I suppose. It's kind of a funky one. Let's just get things underway. And it's going to be seeing our pool coming up, so nothing too crazy about that. It's going to be seeing our Overlord making his way down, coming over, and seeing what we can do with this. Got some scouting information. Obviously, last game started off with that 2-Rex as well, so last game already started off pretty on the, aggressive side of things. And we just about came out without issues at the end. Here we go, Dance, and yeah, it was an interesting 2-Rex. Obviously, it did kind of get shut down, but then it was shut down, but then it was still kind of a thing, and it definitely got a little bit weird, right? Definitely got very interesting, if absolutely nothing else. So that said, guys, let's see what we do here. This Reaper obviously gets started and everything, and we just get things rolling for the early few moments. Hatchery coming through, Queen on the way out. Gonna be popping very soon. I'm just gonna be seeing that link speed coming up as well. Let's bring that link speed out into play also. Rax moves off to the side. Factory gets a couple of Hellions on the way. All of this coming through for the moment. Even Reaper taking a few more shots, but doesn't go down, so able to keep itself sturdy and alive, which is obviously very important as well. So doing well in that regard. I have that Viking still producing along. Just going to see a couple more SCVs coming in too. Need to try and do what we can with all of this at the moment. Aliens will not be able to make their way past the Queens, however, so the Queens will stand their ground for the moment at least, so able to do well enough there. The job well done. Obviously, do not want to let that get too out of hand or anything, so job well done for the moment. Well, Liberate is on the way up, so Kira is going to look for a little bit of additional damage here, if at all possible. It's just going to be aiming for that as best as we can. Going to be seeing our Lib coming up, our Marine on the way in, and all of this through for the moment. And yeah, just going to be having ourselves the Overlord coming through as well. So again, just a lot of setting up being done. And once we have our Hellions coming over, and just going to be putting some pressure on the Queens. I mean, nice to get some damage onto the Queens. Not really expecting them to do, get any kills or anything, but nice to be able to, like I say, put some pressure on, deal some damage. Few drones popping out, Ling's still coming through. The Simpack upgrade is building as well on the side of QS again. All of this up and running for the moment. Must be having our Libera coming in behind. Is going to go for a little bit of a cheeky siege up, so get sieged here. Can chase away a few of these drones already, and at the same time, the Hellions are looking for a cancel in the 4th base. That's very hopeful, but honestly, was not really too far away from actually working, so... Not looking too bad as we continue through. Hellions will get in here and get rid of some creep spread. The more you do of that as Q, the better a position you're going to end up being in. So, again, important to kind of keep all that happening to make sure that you're going to have the best possible chance of being alright at the end of the day. Now, just going to be seeing a couple extra barracks coming through. Stim pack, 1-1 upgrades, all of that being added into play right now. And Terratoad on the 2-year resub. Thank you so much for 2 years of supporting the channel and being awesome. I really appreciate it, and I hope you're doing fantastically. Thank you so much for the support. Hellions again able to, or trying to be able to get into a position to get some damage done, but the defense is good from Solar. Very choked up entrances to these bases, allowing the Queens to really just sit there and hold their ground pretty steadily, so not really having too many troubles when it comes to that, honestly. Yeah, Baneling Nest is finishing. The lad's about to be done, so we can go straight to Bane Speed. Obviously, this is going to be upgrades early on the side of Solar, so he's going to be playing that upgrade style. That means that Baneling Speed is later, but with upgrades, he should be able to fight things off for a little while. Bit of back and forth, man. We have a little bit of exploding going on. Come through this. Maybe having our couple of Medivacs continue to load up, bring things back together here, and these Lings going to come back across as well. So we have our Medivacs all joined together for now, getting ready to rumble for the moment. We do have these Marines still trying to push their way in and see if there's anything more that they can maybe do. Just going to be having this hatchery. Is genuinely in some trouble. Solar has got the Banelings with no speed actually connecting. SCV's dying on the other side as well. Massive counterattack, and Solar is going to find some huge damage there at the very least. So some damage being done. Solar is able to do tons of damage. I mean, without that, he might have been in a lot of trouble, but now it's kind of playable, right? Now it's kind of okay. I feel like now we're kind of, still kind of cranking out and doing okay with it, so maybe this ain't so bad. Just gonna be seeing 19 SCVs dead, and obviously we didn't really get drone kills here. The base survives as well, so it was looking pretty good, but it obviously didn't really end up super great at the end of the day, I feel like. So yeah, interesting little battle. Very fun setup here across the board as we get all of this going. It's going to be seeing our Lings and Hydras trying to protect this top base as well. We still have a little bit of the Terran over here trying to get involved and trying to kind of stay pushed into position as best we can. Trying to do as much as possible with that. Marines continue through, just going to see a little bit of creep spread being knocked back. That's one thing we do not have at all for Solar. The creep spread is very far back because obviously this has been a very continuously just aggressive situation, right, at the end of the day. So yes, a very continuously aggressive situation, and that's definitely kind of showing its what happens when that happens, right? You cannot get the creep out, Q has kept map control. That's going to be really big for him here later on in the game. Obviously, right now, it's not necessarily something which immediately has an impact. Honestly, it just allows you to keep pushing forward as the Terran in some situations where you might not usually be able to, right? So, definitely a little bit of effect. Definitely some things to keep eyes on. As otherwise, we move on and along. Just maybe seeing that bit of Link Vein Hydra coming through as well. So still defending here. This little drop on the left side will not do enough to really get going or anything. So that's going to be okay. That's going to be defended. There's the attack on the right side at the same time. So we are continuing to kind of go back and forth here. Just for the moment. Groove Spines on the way up as well. And the Hydra Dens. So bringing that up to Rumble. Got a CC gonna lift off. Gonna try to go elsewhere for a couple of moments here as well. Just gonna try and make that play. Just gonna have our Ling Veins still coming through, and just gonna be seeing the Lings, the Hydras, the Banelings continue to make their way through the middle of the map. And Ling's Banes, everything just kind of having a bit of a move around for the moment. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too wild or unexpected here, I suppose. Gonna be seeing how it. Look down on the way up from Solo, which is obviously absolutely an expectation as well. So, yeah, no real surprises there. Everything kind of just going, like I say, as we expect it to for the moment. Lings, Hydras, Banelings will make their way through the middle of the map. Gonna start working our way through a set of rocks over here as well. It's just gonna knock these down. Just gonna take that out straight away and go from there. My Force continues to move around and just trade as best it possibly can. Now, well, you're obviously on a good amount of base here already as the Terran player. 4 bases pretty early in the game. Not being difficult to take. I do wonder about taking a 5th base. I guess you can take the base to the right side pretty easily without too many issues. So that's obviously pretty nice. And then I'm trying to think, I mean, I guess the forward base should in theory be easy to hold later on as well. Maybe even early on. Could be a factor too. Big attack coming in, Bioforce getting whacked as the Banelings will force a split back, but I mean, not quite enough for them apparently. Thought there was maybe going to be a few more. Just going to be seeing the rest of these Hydras pulling back the upper left side, the couple Overseers coming through. These 3 Carapaces about to finish on the Evo Chamber. And look, is still coming up. +2 missiles, seismic spines coming in. We've got a couple of libs building as well. Reducing on the side of QS. Just bringing all of that up. The 3/3 upgrades coming through and an extra set of ghosts. Reducing also, we just have our medevacs loading up. Backing away, and this gives Solo maybe an opportunity to break through. But I mean, Q is setting up to play pretty heavily defensive here. I do not think this is a position you can break into as the Zerg. And that's kind of rough, no? I mean, this is, again, why I think this map's going to start seeing some long games for sure, right? It's going to be having our CC landing off over to the right side and just going to be having another base for the Terran to work off of. So again, economy is not an issue for the Terran player for the foreseeable future. It's absolutely fine for the moment. No doubt. So we're seeing these Lings actually managed to break onto this base and getting a little bit of a surround for a handful of moments. It's going to be seeing the Lings continue to get chased away. Marines and a Ghost helping with that chase for a little while as well. So really helping to push this back, keep this out of the way as long as possible. Be seeing these lurkers in the main base as well. That's a great nydus play, and that's one of the things you got to be on top of. If you're a Terran player in these scenarios, the last thing you want to be doing is giving the Zerg easy access to your base. Otherwise, stuff like this will happen, and that obviously does not end well for you. So, yes, kind of important to stop this from happening. Suddenly, 25 SCVs are down. We're just talking about how impenetrable the front of this base looks, right? And all of a sudden, you know, the front is impenetrable, but the back, we found a way in, and That's something which, like I say, is not necessarily a given, right? You shouldn't necessarily be just allowed to kind of get in here, so I definitely feel like that's a slip up heavily by Q, because that didn't need to be the way, or it didn't need to go the way that it did. Going to be seeing our new nydus on the way up as well, so Sola's not going to stop with this pressure, with this aggression. He does have Kira running in onto him on the left-hand side, but it's just a few Marines, and that's actually where the nydus is as well. It's just getting reinforcements and run-by potential over there, perhaps. Sola is going to continue to use these nyduses to navigate the map. Hydras will make their way around. Just going to be seeing the base on the right side getting crushed down. That's very important, of course. Oh, wow, he denied the bottom left base at the same time. Soul on a roll. 2 bases back to back are amazing pickoffs for him. Obviously, that's obviously really nice. I mean, this is probably going to be very tough now, no? We got a bit of bio here, just going after the base on that bottom side. A few more SCVs. I mean, this is going to be really tough for Q. Now, he does reestablish on the right side with an orbital, but this is very much so not ideal, to say the least, just yet. Lings, Banes, Hydras continuing through. A couple Liberator shots going after some of these Lings as well. We've got new Liberators on the way out because of shells continuing to be brought into play. You can see this Ling Bane Hydra Force ready to go again onto that Bio Army, trying to make something happen here. See another nydus attempt. This one looking as though it will get shut down pretty quickly, so that will not go very well at all. Just going to be seeing still our Ling Bane Hydra continuing through. Extra Banes morphing in. Just going to be seeing the orbital re-landing over here. Can we actually take down this base again? Solar definitely surging with kind of supply and numbers and everything, but you still got to be a little careful about how exactly you take this, right? Got to be pretty cautious as our Bio Force will come up this right side. Solar really has the entirety of this side of the map in his control, though. Like, his entire side is just absolutely taken. He's starting to take the Terran spaces as well. That's going to create issues for Q naturally. That's going to make life that much more difficult, without a doubt, as a couple of lurkers will be firing away. And they're just going to keep, it just forces Q to go and respond to that. Respond over here, deal with that over there. All this stuff is going to become very important. There's a couple tanks and a few Lings continuing out. Liberator firing and a few Lings getting pushed away to the sides. It's going to be seeing our Bioforce continuing to come around. All these ghosts gather together, the Bioforce sitting with these medevacs. And I mean, I guess Q's best option is just to kind of sit and wait and hope that Solo maybe overcommits into him, kind of what he did last time around. And just come through, Liberator gets knocked down. As the Banes continue to adventure over. We've seen our Lings, Banes, Hydras coming in from a couple of different directions again, so in they go. Just going to be seeing these Lings get wrap around on a few of these ghosts. Is that going to be enough? The Banelings connection might be. The Medevacs have to swoop in and evacuate. Bane's trying to hit from the other side, Sola. Again, just doing some damage, and obviously at this point, because you've broken down this bottom left, now you have this attack path into the natural, because that was originally walled by a mineral wall-off that's now no longer a factor. Obviously makes this very interesting as well, right? Just going to be seeing these additional lurkers coming through, Hydras, Overseers, extra Lings all being brought into play, extra Marauders are coming out. Just going to continue to rally up this right-hand side. The Ghosts all gathering together and go stemming in to deny this base of the Zerg. The problem is that's one of your bases, and the Zerg has the bottom left side. Similar kind of situation, so really you need to be doing something to kind of stop these bases from coming up, and that's not happening at the moment. I mean, yes, you deny the one on the right, but what about the one on the left, right? What about the one on the other side? Not exactly ideal. Like I say, it's not the greatest of situations right away here. Just going to be seeing lurkers helping to deny bases. I mean, at the same time, just going to run in over here as well. Just going to have stuff going on here, there, and freaking everywhere. And Bioforce continues to fight. The 5 SCVs going down. Drones dropping as well. And we've seen Sichenk setting up behind this base, try and protect it a little bit, if at all possible. My army will be able to get through this hatchery. Is going to go down, so we at least do get rid of that base I was talking about, but at some point Q has to mine these bases himself, and he doesn't really have the option to do that yet. Now his army supply is good. Bane Hydra pushing through. Sichenk will get knocked down. Just going to be seeing again that defensive tank in the back is decent, but I mean that's exactly what you want it to be. That's kind of the plan from Q, but the problem is you can't do much more than that, right? The rest of this force comes back around the other side. Sniper about to finish. Couple more Liberators on the way out. Continue to set up into some of these later stages here. It's going to be having Lings floating forward again. Solar is just, again, I mean, he just basically doesn't want this Terran to mine. And that's basically what we continue to do, right? 16 SCVs going down. SCVs dying off over to the side. Just going to be having, again, the army pulling back into the middle of the map. Solar just, I mean, quadruple the worker count, right? 80 to 20. He can rebuild and go again, and he's got the bases to do so. This map is big enough that you can just set up base after base and continue to fight, continue to battle, and that's exactly what we're seeing Lings move in for a moment. Then they're going to turn back around again. Couple of drones going down. Lurkers still being struck down here as we have got a bit of bio in the corner, aiming for the hatchery. Parasite Bomb will land. A couple of these medevacs dropping off. We've seen our lurkers, Lings being still setting up here. A few drones going down on the other side. So that's at least some damage done from Kua. I mean, we've still got the lurkers holding this position, stopping this one mining base of Kua from really going. He's mining a little bit off of the right side, but not exactly ideal still. Going to be seeing, here we go, another push forward. Solo wants to break this position, break this forward spot. Let's see if he can actually do that as we come straight on in. The lurkers do run back around, and just going to be seeing this orbital will redrop into the center here. So back into the middle we go. Again, the little drops just don't feel as though they're surely going to be able to do enough at the end of the day, right? I mean, there's just a mountain to climb here for Kua, and he's trying to climb it with, you know, a toothbrush or something. Yeah, you know, like there's just not the tools necessary to really get back in this. I think that is the problem for the moment that we just can't really overcome at all. I mean, again, your hope is to kind of just pray that Solar runs out of resources and that maybe it commits into you a little bit too messily, right? Just a little bit too badly. One too many times, and that maybe is when you can take advantage. That's maybe when you can strike yourself and succeed. We've seen our Lings and our Hydras, our Lurker as well, continue to push forward here. This Bio has to keep running away. This might just be it from Q. 0 SCVs left in the game. His last bit of army is being wiped by an army that is just not dropping and not stopping from Solar. That is going to be GG. Solar finally breaks through. And just one of those ZvTs, guys, where in the bottom right-hand side. From Onside Gaming, this is Solar. And the other side, our Red Terran is going to be Q. Alright, game 3 on Resvan. Let's see how this is going to go. See what's going to happen. As we get our drone, Overlord, everything on the way for a few moments. Just going to have our Overlord coming in, popping out, getting set to roll here for just a little bit. Nothing crazy, obviously no proxy racks, man. It's just a big map, honestly. Like, it's pretty darn sizable, in all honesty. It's kind of crazy how big it is. I'm really excited to see what we kind of do here. I mean, Q has already shown us, I guess, that he is pretty happy to play a pretty passive game if he needs to. Like, if he needs to play passively, he needs to sit back and whatever else, he will just do it. You know, he's shown us that already, and I have no doubt that he will do that yet again if that is exactly what he feels like is the best solution for him. And then, like I say, it very well may just be the best solution for him on this map, because it's a big one. So, one thing to keep in mind, absolutely. Let's move through these early stages and we get ourselves all set up. Catch gas and pool coming in. And yeah, let's see what, I mean, if Q gets to that stage, that's the question, right, as well, because obviously maybe you do something before then to maybe not have to play that kind of game. So while he's been happy too, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to settle for it every single time, right? So that's also a potential factor as well. What if he doesn't want to actually do that? What does he do then? How aggressive does he get, and in what ways does he get aggressive? Because those will be interesting questions that need to be answered. He wants to go about this any differently. It's going to be seeing our queen building over here, a couple queens early, and a couple wings on the way out and around, a couple drones are coming out. We're having ourselves the Reaper coming through and just aiming for a Zerglin or two, so getting a little bit of damage dealt here just early on. Trying to fight back a little bit. Now we do have already 3rd CC coming down alongside the starboard, so we're going to continue with that for the moment. So on we go for now. It's just going to be seeing our link speed coming up to being about halfway done. Reaper and a queen gonna look at each other and stare each other down for a few moments. Reaper again, just checking on that 3rd hatchery, trying to make sure, trying to get as much information as possible, right? If you can, see what you can spot, see what you can do. So we're going to do exactly that, as we otherwise have ourselves the Reaper. Yeah, we just want to know whether you're kind of drawn in that 3rd base map. We actually are going Marauders, so we're probably going to see the Hellbat Marauder attack here. One of the more aggressive attacks that you can commit into, actually, so kind of going straight for that at the moment. going to be having our medevac on the way then. Aliens continue to produce. No armory, by the way. There we go. I was going to say, it's getting to the point where you kind of need to build it, right? If you don't build it soon, then you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. You're probably going to be a little bit trapped. So, yeah, I was, again, a little bit concerned, but for no reason in the end. It's actually going to be just fine. Let's see if this attack can do anything then. Let's see if Kua can find some good damage here and make some progress against Solar. He's going to be having all these Hellions, these Marauders set up. What does Solar even have, man? He's got nothing. He's building himself Evo Chambers. One of the greediest setups. No Baneling Nest as well. Obviously isn't going to help either, so this really isn't looking great. I see Marauders, Helibats continuing through. As we make our way around, just going to be seeing this attack straight in. There's just no damage on this, and even extra Lings showing up right now, I don't feel like are going to have the damage that you really need to make this competitive at all. So this kind of feels like we're just going to be saying GG's already, and that's going to be a very quick game considering how the first couple of games went in this. Obviously, the first few games were pretty hefty macro, and this is anything but, to say the very least. So GG's, Kua. Gonna grab this one nice and easily, nice and quickly. No issues at all. And Kua's gonna find himself up into match point. And that's obviously very nice for him. One more map and he'll win this ESL Open Cup Korea. It is in the bottom right, down a game, our blue Zerg player. This is Solar from Onside Gaming. Taking on in the upper left, our red Terran. Match point for him, Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Kua. Brax goes down, setting this up. Getting this all ready. As we have ourselves Dragon Scale, Solar down a map. Some aggression from Kua, obviously getting that job done. Marauder Hellbat is pretty reasonable, to say the least. One of the most aggressive you can do, and if you're not prepared for it, it is absolutely one that will straight out kill you, so... Well, what we saw just there was down to that. As you guys pull, Reaper on the way, so pretty much standard across the board here so far, guys. And finals of an ESL Open Cup American. This is number 157 still, right? We didn't even move on to the 158 stuff. We have so many replays to dip our teeth into this week. It's gonna be fun, I think. Should be really awesome. CC drops down onto the natural, just going to be seeing a couple queens, a few lings, all on the way out. Again, CC, SCV, Marine. 6 lings on the choice from Solar. So choosing for 6 instead of just the 4. We have our Reaper coming in, trying to get a ling. Nice micro back from Solar. Let's go through. Reaper taking some shots. CC's continuing to build. Factory going to be finishing up very shortly. Just going to be having ourselves the queen. Going to the corner, trying to keep an eye on things here as handling speed starts up. It's going to be seen Overlord still standing around. Fast left from Solar. Ooh, so he's going to kind of be the aggressor. He's going to mix it up. I like that. It's kind of a pretty fun series, right? Lots of fun stuff being done and exciting things happening. It's been a very fun one so far. With this fast light, I do wonder what Solar's going to go into. Map's not exactly huge for like fast meters or anything. Maybe just a fast 9. I don't want to say nydus, but yeah, maybe just like a Link Queen nydus all in. Looking at it, right, we don't have extra gas taken just yet. We're not really going to have the gas ready for Spire, I don't believe. Not straight away. I would imagine we'd want to start building extra gases ASAP. 120. Slare's not going to be done fairly soon. Link speed finishing. I do feel like this is more likely going to be a it's more likely going to be like just a nydus network, and you just go Link Queen nydus across the map, and you just go aggressive, right? Probably make the most sense. Slare's done, unless we do just get the I guess unless we do just kind of take the the latest fire, but nope, it is going to be that aforementioned idea of the the aforementioned idea of going into a cheeky little nydus network. So it's going to be aggression this time around from Solar, getting this ready to roll. Viking going to get this Overlord. Viking could really do with actually just going in and scouting itself, though, you know? Like, hey, maybe you should go spot what's happening here, because it's not very good for you. That's actually very true. It's really not very good for you at all. Let's get through. A few Hellions coming in to clear those up. But I mean, the nydus is going up in the corner of the base, and it is finished, and Secure just had no idea about it. He had no way to see it at all, and now these units are in his main. This is going to be a problem. I don't know if we're going to be able to deal with this or anything, so this seems problematic. Our Lings, our Queens continuing through. SCV's taking a whole bunch of damage. Yeah, SCVs, for a bit of tanking, will do a lot. 15 workers down. We lost 3 drones so far on the other side of the map. How many kill these Queens is going to be the question, because if these Queens survive, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, right? The SCVs are pretty much all going down. If you just can't get rid of the Queens, then none of this really matters. 42 dead workers, 13 SCVs standing, the Queen's still pushing forward, and they're just going to sit here, camp with a little bit more creep coming up, and obviously reinforcing around the Lings probably coming through soon as well. GG's too much from Solar. He does overwhelm. He does push through. He is going to be able to take this one down. And we are going to be tied up. Going on game 5. So we get this start in the top right-hand side. Link Queen nydus attack. Gets it done. Way to mix things up, huh? Going to be Solar. Obviously, on the other side sits Secure. As we get this ready to rumble, I'm just going to be seeing where things go for the early stages of the game here on Royal Blood. Like this map a lot again. Another one of the ones I was very fond of in the TLMC. Very happy to see it making it all the way here into ladder play, and hence, of course, then tournament play as well, of course, obviously. We've seen our first Rex at home. Just going to see hatch gas pool, so we are going to start on a pretty standard set of things, nothing too out of the ordinary kicking us off here, so that at least is some good news. As we come on and along. Going to be seeing the Reaper on the way out. Obviously, just going to have an expansion, so again, really is the epitome of standard here for these early few minutes. Nothing weird, crazy, random, or wild. I think it's just getting straight up and straight ahead for the moment. Rocks in the center. Obviously, we'll shorten some of these attack pathways. We might see those going down. If we do go back to the games that were akin, well, go back to games 1 and 2, right? We saw a lot of very long, kind of drawn-out games. That's the sort of games those rocks will be likely taken down and open up extra attack paths. Something that I'm pretty sure will be seen on both sides, really, because that's a base that both players would want to attack into at different parts of the game. So, something to watch for there. And as the moment, the Reaper will dance with the Zerglings. Trying to see if there's anything intriguing that can be done. Honestly, the answer is not really straight away. Pretty kind of chill for now. It's going to be seeing drones coming up as well. Link speed is continuing in also. Just continuing through with all of that right now. And yeah, just our feelings continue to make their way out down to the bottom left side. Just going to be seeing our barracks coming up, our CC coming in, our Hellions are producing. All of that being brought in for the moment, as our Reaper will drop a grenade, but not really do too much with this. Not for the moment, at least. It's going to see our factory going to come across, and it's going to go land on the bottom side. Let's see our queen finish up in a few moments' time. Get that wrapped up here, so I'm just going to go for that for the early few moments. I'm just going to be seeing a few Marines ready to deny this initial Overlord scout in as well. Just looking to be able to deny that as best as possible. We'll be doing so, so that Overlord goes down pretty much immediately. No real benefit there, or no real gain there, honestly. See a couple of medevacs continue now. Just going to be seeing the Overlords coming through, Queens coming in. Baneling Nest will begin to start out as well. It's just continue to put this through for the moment, so all of this on the way in. And yeah, the Baneling Nest is not too surprising to be seen here either. Everything looking pretty much like it should, for now at least. Drones just get the mine away, again, lay on the way. We have seen some games where Swords obviously opted for the faster melee upgrades and playing into the Baneling speed later. This game's just going to be the priority on the Baneling speed, which I don't really disagree with. I think Kira has shown his willingness to be aggressive, and if he's willing to be aggressive, you've got to be just so much more careful about what you're doing as these Marines and these Hellions come forward. It's going to be seeing them going straight in for a little bit of damage here, so a little bit of damage being dealt. Just gonna see the Banes trying to crash in, trying to get a little bit of something extra going. Just gonna be seeing how drop into the main base. Here, gonna keep up this pressure, gonna keep up this action. Engineering base just now starting for him, as these medevacs will be pushed backward for the moment. The Queens all gathering up together. That's going to be seeing our Marines trying to get involved as well. Just going to be having the Marines, Hellbats trying to push through this. Veins and all sorts on the way out right now, so just continue to bring all of this up. It's going to be seeing a few Lings coming across the sides, trying to help out a little bit as well, wherever possible, just trying to use those little bits of extra damage. if the opportunity does arise. So far it hasn't really arisen, but good to keep an eye on such things. Marines actually just unload on this other side of the gold base as well, so looking to see if there's an opportunity for them to maybe do something over on this side, of course, and you know, again, just trying to set up and keep on attacking. We've got ourselves those ally upgrades still coming into play. I'm just going to be seeing the medevacs. Have to be careful. One of them is low, and his units are still... Well, the medevacs are still full of units as well, so you just got to be pretty careful here. Last thing you want to be doing is giving away stuff for free. Shakira continues around the left-hand side. Just trying to keep an eye on everything. So Baneling's coming out as well, just going to be seeing the big attack. Actually, Solo's going to go across the other side. So Solo about equal out the upgrades. And yeah, just going to go across the other side to try and make something fun happen. Obviously, I mean, that or you could just surround this position as well, because the position itself is pretty stable with the tanks like tucked in the corner. Surrounding this obviously makes it much more difficult. Where do you kite to? Well, you pretty much lift into the medevacs. That's your only way out, so that means you get to get rid of all these siege tanks. It's going to be a little expensive as the tank gets a few more shots off the actual surrounding process. There's not a lot of surface area there, so it makes it a little bit tough. Medevacs will load up and go back out the other way. Load up back over the other side. Drop back down, etc. Bit of a dance for a few moments. There's just going to be seeing our Klings and our Banes continue to rush on forward. Just going to be seeing our Marines having to be a little cautious for just a few moments. Bane continues through. He's going to see our medevacs loading back up, recharging to go again. It's going to be seeing our CC coming online, and it's going to be seeing the move over to the bottom side base. So we're going to get that fourth base established here as Curious. He's getting that up and ready. Nice and quickly. Not too many issues or anything. It's been obviously a game of continue to deny and control the creep as well, and he's been doing that decently, of course. We've seen medevacs will be forced to lift up though, so we are seeing still, I mean, at least keeping on top of these medevacs, not letting them get out of touch, get out of reach or anything. Not letting this become too crazy or anything of the sort. Marines just continue to settle down over on the right-hand side, joining up together. Just going to see the Ultra Cav going to be coming through with an aid of adrenal glands as well, so really powering up those melee units for the next stage of the game. Obviously the Ling's going to be powerful. The Ultra should be pretty capable of getting some work done as well. Definitely expecting those to be successful here initially. It's going to be seen again. Trying to deny the creep up this left side, so we're clearly pretty committed to dealing up this left side, right? And just doing as much as we can over in this sort of direction. We've seen our Marines actually able to get a hatch on the right side as well, though, so while keeping a lot of attention to the left. Suddenly we strike on the right, and that base is going to go down, so it's going to be a big deal. Runs get through. A couple of creep teamers started drops, just knocking those down straight away. Just going to be seeing a little bit of a counterattack coming through. These Lings aiming for a little bit of damage, unable to really do too much. All said and done, though. It's nothing too crazy at the end of the day. Creep spread just kind of sitting out the front and just going to be having ourselves the here comes Solo looking for some aggression of his own, coming straight on through this and just going to be kind of going in, but man, the tanks are just brutal, getting so much damage dealt, so they're going to be able to do amazingly here. So yeah, they're going to be able to do great. Just going to be seeing our rest of our Ling Bane going around. Can we actually get in? Can we make a difference right now? It's going to be seeing 16 SCVs do go down, so some amount of damage being dealt. Ling's sitting on the left-hand side. More counterattacks readying themselves. Solar is again just really gonna switch things up. He's actually gonna get the Broodlords going, which, you know, there was that game where he kind of lost it just playing Ling Bane Ultra. Broodlords can be interesting in this matchup. It feels like sometimes they can be very good at immediately kind of getting in and doing some damage and kind of catching you off guard, I suppose, more than anything else. I feel like that's what the Broodlords are truly excellent at. I guess setting up a position like this where you can kind of siege this position repeatedly is very good for you, so seems to be part of the plan. Seeing the Brutes actually doing a great job of allowing everything else to come in as well. And now we're going to be able to lay siege to this base, so going to be able to get some work done there. This Planetary Fortress taking some pretty hefty shots. Taking some hits, beginning to go down. And now these tanks obviously not very useful in this scenario either, so they're not really having the best of times here. That's obviously going to keep them in just a little bit of trouble. Bane's crashing through with this, going to try and break this position. Q really starting to run low on supply, really honestly just running out of supply to kind of stay in these fights. So Q not having a good time right now. This is looking more and more like Solo's game. The Broodlords came in at a good timing. They came in at a perfect point, if I have to say so myself. I feel like they came in pristinely on time to just sort of surprise, be effective. They did exactly what they needed to, and that, my friends, is going to get the job done here. As we are going to see Sola picking this up. That is going to be a 3-2 victory for Sola, winning this out in the finals, so congrats to him.